Something inside you guided you here. A pull, a nudge, a quiet inner voice that whispered, "Look now." You didn't click this message by accident. You didn't pause on it randomly. You didn't feel that sudden spark of curiosity for no reason. Your soul felt the shift before your mind understood it, and that is why you are here at this exact moment. The angels say there is an opening in your timeline, a brief energetic window that appears rarely and lasts only a short while. This window is what calls to you now. Imagine your life as a series of pathways woven through time. Some paths lead to opportunities, others to lessons, some to relationships, others to healing. Most of the time, these pathways move quietly in the background, almost unnoticed. But every so often, the universe pauses, rearranges, and offers you a moment where a major shift can occur, a moment where all the threads of your past, present, and future align for transformation. This is the moment you're standing in. The angels say your timeline is trembling, loosening, cracking open from the pressure of everything you've survived. You've gone through more than you speak about. You've endured more than you show. You've held yourself together through moments that would have broken others. And because of this strength, the strength you don't give yourself enough credit for, your timeline is now ready to shift into alignment with what you've been quietly praying for. There's something you asked the universe for a long time ago. Maybe you asked in a moment of desperation. Maybe in a moment of hope. Maybe you didn't speak it aloud at all. Maybe it was just a small, trembling wish buried inside your heart. The angels heard it even when you doubted it mattered. They saw your patience. They saw your effort. They saw the way you kept going even when everything became heavy. And because of that, they have prepared this shift for you. This shift isn't random. It isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. It's calibration, the universe adjusting itself to bring you back into alignment with a version of you that is powerful, clear, and divinely guided. You may feel it physically, a tightening in your chest, a buzzing in your hands, a warmth in your heart, a sudden clarity settling over your mind. Or you may feel it emotionally, restlessness, anticipation, a sense that something big is about to happen. Your intuition has likely been whispering, "Pay attention," even if you didn't know what to pay attention to. You may have felt like you're in between chapters, not entirely done with the old, not fully inside the new. That sensation is the space where the shift happens. When one timeline ends and another begins, you feel suspended, aware that change is coming, but not yet certain of its shape. The angels say the old energy is already breaking apart behind you. Situations that once held you in place no longer feel the same. People you once gave everything to may feel distant. Dreams you once chased may feel complete. This is not loss. This is reorientation. Your energy is detaching from what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. You might have noticed recent emotional waves, moments of clarity followed by moments of confusion, moments of hope followed by moments of exhaustion. These emotional fluctuations are signs of an internal recalibration. When a timeline shifts, your mind tries to hold on to what feels familiar, even if it no longer serves you. But your soul tries to release what's outdated, pulling you into growth. This creates a tug of war within you. But don't fear it. It's temporary. What matters is what's happening underneath the surface. Your frequency is rising. Your heart is opening. Your awareness is widening. The angels say you are becoming receptive to new opportunities, new clarity, new stability, and new alignment. You may not fully see it yet, but the energy is rearranging itself around you. Old blocks are dissolving. Old timelines are falling away. Old patterns are losing their grip on your life. There is also an element of urgency in this moment, not fear-based urgency, but divine timing. The universe has aligned a window, and the angels want you to step through it consciously. That's why you felt the sudden draw to this message. That's why you sensed significance before hearing a single word. This specific moment is charged with potential, and the angels don't want you to overlook it like you may have overlooked previous signs. Have you felt unusually introspective lately? Have you questioned your future more than usual? Have you felt like you're waiting for something, even if you don't know what it is? Those feelings are signals that your inner world already knows a shift is coming. They are the pre-tremors of a major energetic movement. You may also feel like you're reaching the end of a long internal cycle, tired of repeating the same emotional patterns, tired of holding on to things that don't grow tired of pretending certain things don't affect you. This exhaustion is not weakness. It is spiritual readiness. When your soul is ready to move, it lets you know by making the old feel too heavy to carry. That heaviness is a sign, the sign that your new timeline is close. And the angels say that this new timeline is not just an emotional change. It is a structural one. It affects opportunities, relationships, clarity, momentum, and even your sense of self. They say the next chapter of your life depends on how open you are in this window. Not fearful, not hesitant, open. You don't have to know what's coming. You only have to allow it. Think about how many times you've held yourself back because of doubt or fear. Think about how often you've walked alone, waiting for a sign that felt clear enough to trust. Think about how many moments in your life would have shifted sooner if you felt supported. The angels say their support is here. They say you're not doing this shift alone. They say they are stabilizing the new path ahead of you. This is why the countdown imagery is important, not because something bad will happen when it reaches zero, but because something new begins. Timelines don't change gradually. They click, suddenly, instantly, completely. And the moment before the click is always filled with an indescribable feeling, the very feeling you have right now. You're standing at the edge of a turning point. Not metaphorically, energetically. You can feel it, even if you can't explain it, and the angels are guiding you deeper into the shift. Part 2 will take you into the heart of this transition. What is being released, what is being activated, and what your soul is preparing to receive next. As the shift in your timeline becomes more active, the energy around your life begins to reorganize itself in subtle yet unmistakable ways. You may already feel this happening, a sense that the air around you is heavier or lighter at different times, a sudden sensitivity to people's intentions, or an inner awareness that something familiar is ending even if you can't fully articulate what it is. These sensations are not random. They are the early signals that the old timeline is loosening its grip on you. The angels say that before a new path opens, the old one begins to dissolve. You might feel this dissolving as emotional fatigue, a loss of interest in things that once felt important, or an urge to withdraw and reflect. This is because your energy is preparing to detach from outdated patterns. It's like a snake shedding its old skin. The process can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary for growth. You may also notice a strange combination of clarity and confusion. One moment, everything seems to make perfect sense. You feel aligned, centered, and ready. The next moment, you feel uncertain, restless, or overwhelmed. This fluctuation does not mean you're lost. It means the energies inside you are rearranging. When a timeline shift begins, the mind tries to hold on to what feels familiar, while the soul pulls you toward what is new. This creates internal tension, but it is temporary. The more you allow the process, the smoother it becomes. The angels want you to understand something important. You are not being tested. You are being prepared. Tests create pressure. Preparation creates space. What you're feeling now is space opening inside you. Space for clarity. Space for healing. Space for new opportunities. Space for better alignments. The old timeline was full. It was cluttered with emotional remnants, old expectations, outdated identities, and stories that no longer belong to you. The shift requires an inner clearing, and that is exactly what's happening. There may be moments in the last days or weeks when you've felt a sudden drop in energy, like your body needed to rest without explanation. This is because your system has been recalibrating. Spiritual alignment always affects the physical body. Fatigue, heat in the chest, pressure in the forehead, vivid dreams, emotional waves. These are all signs of energetic movement. Your body is integrating new frequencies, releasing stagnant ones, and making room for a higher flow of guidance. If you've been feeling reflective lately, replaying old memories, questioning past choices, or reevaluating relationships, know that this too is part of the shift. Before stepping into a higher timeline, your soul brings awareness to unfinished emotional fragments. Not to punish you, not to overwhelm you, but to help you release what cannot travel with you. Some memories may resurface not because you need to revisit the pain, but because you are finally ready to let them go. You may also be noticing subtle signs from the universe. Repeating numbers, songs that feel like they're speaking to you, words or phrases that stand out, encounters that feel meaningful. These signs are part of the energetic guidance system the angels use to help you navigate this transition. The more aligned you become, the more visible these signs appear. They act like breadcrumbs leading you toward the doorway of the new timeline. Archangel Michael emphasizes that the shift you are undergoing didn't just begin today. It has been building for months, even years. Every moment of growth, every moment of pain, every choice to continue, every act of resilience, all of it has been leading to this reset point. What feels sudden is actually the culmination of everything you've been transforming internally. This is why, in recent times, you may have felt drawn toward self-improvement, deeper reflection, or emotional honesty. Maybe you've been wanting to organize your life, clean your space, improve your habits, or set stronger boundaries. These desires are not random impulses. They are expressions of your future self pulling you forward. When a new timeline approaches, the soul instinctively prepares for it. You might even have noticed that certain relationships feel different. Some closer, some distant, some neutral. The shift reveals alignment and misalignment with remarkable clarity. The people who match your new frequency feel more comfortable, while those who don't may feel heavier or draining. This is not judgment. It is resonance. A timeline shift reorganizes your connections so that the right people can enter your life and the wrong ones can gently fall away. The angels explain that the shift also affects your emotional patterns. Old fears may surface briefly: abandonment, failure, rejection, uncertainty, but only so they can be acknowledged and released. You may have a moment where you feel like you're slipping backward, but this is an illusion of the mind. In truth, the shift is pulling you upward. The old fears are surfacing because they're losing their power, and the mind panics when it senses a loss of control. But your soul is stronger than that. You are not regressing. You are purging. As the shift grows stronger, your perspective will shift as well. You will begin noticing possibilities where you previously saw obstacles. You will begin understanding the meaning behind past experiences. You will feel more connected to your intuition, as if you suddenly know things you didn't consciously think through. This intuitive clarity is one of the clearest signs that a timeline realignment is underway. Above all else, the angels want you to understand the significance of this moment. You are standing in the doorway of a transformation you have earned. You didn't stumble here. You arrived here because of your perseverance, your growth, your choices, and your willingness to rise despite everything that tried to weigh you down. This window is a blessing, a gift, a divine appointment, and you are being guided to walk through it with awareness. What comes next is the activation phase, the moment when the new timeline begins to interact with your reality, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and eventually physically. The angels say this phase is powerful and often feels like momentum returning to your life after a long period of stagnation. Now that the old timeline has begun dissolving and your energy is detaching from what no longer resonates, the next phase of your shift begins, the activation of the new timeline. This is the stage where the universe starts rearranging your external reality to match who you are becoming internally. You may not fully see it yet, but this activation is already happening, like seeds sprouting beneath the soil long before they break through the surface. The angels say that the new timeline is not something you enter suddenly. It is something that gradually emerges around you as your frequency rises. It begins with small signs, synchronicities, inner shifts, intuitive nudges, and then moves into more visible changes. This is where your life begins to feel as though it has been subtly rewired, even if nothing dramatic has happened yet. One of the first effects of this activation is the return of momentum. If you've felt stuck, delayed, or suspended in a kind of emotional limbo lately, that was the pause before the shift. But as this new energy begins to take shape, you'll all start feeling a forward pull, a sense that things are finally beginning to move again. It might show up as renewed motivation, a sudden desire to take action, or even a burst of creativity that comes out of nowhere. This momentum is not random. It is the universe syncing your path with what you've been preparing for internally. The angels describe this phase as a soul ignition, the moment when the inner work you've had done begins to translate into external opportunity. You may also notice that certain things become easier. Situations that once felt impossible might suddenly open up. Conversations that felt blocked may flow naturally. Decisions that weighed heavily on you may suddenly feel clear. This ease is not coincidence. It's evidence that your energy is no longer fighting against your path, but moving with it. Another hallmark of activation is a sharpened sense of intuition. Your inner voice becomes louder, more consistent, more trustworthy. You may feel guided toward certain choices without understanding why, only to discover later that your intuition was leading you toward something important. The new timeline communicates through intuition first, synchronicity second, and physical reality last. The angels say that if you want to know what's coming, listen to what your intuition is whispering right now. You may also begin experiencing emotional neutrality toward things that used to affect you deeply. This is a sign that old emotional attachments are releasing. Someone who once occupied your thoughts may suddenly feel irrelevant. A past mistake may lose its emotional weight. A situation that once triggered anxiety may feel strangely calm. This neutrality is not suppression. It is healing. It means your energy is reclaiming itself from old timelines, freeing up space for new connections and experiences. The activation phase is also the time when you become more aware of what you truly want. You may find yourself redefining your priorities, no longer choosing based on fear or pressure, but based on alignment. You might realize that certain dreams weren't actually yours, but were imposed by others. You might rediscover old passions that you had abandoned. You might feel called toward something new, a project, a place, a person, a purpose. This clarity is one of the greatest gifts of a timeline shift. It helps you recognize which desires come from your soul and which come from your wounds. The angels say this distinction is what separates the old path from the new one. As the activation intensifies, the universe also begins clearing your path more aggressively. People who drain your energy may distance themselves. Opportunities that don't match your new frequency may fall away. Habits that slow your growth may become harder to maintain. This can feel disruptive, but it's actually a sign of progress. The new timeline doesn't allow anything that contradicts its vibration. If something disappears, it is because something better is moving toward you. The angels emphasize that this activation is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Every shift in your energy creates a shift in your reality. Every choice you make now carries more weight. Every thought you entertain becomes more powerful. Every intention you set echoes louder across your timeline. This is why the angels encourage you to stay conscious. Not anxious, not perfectionistic, just aware. Your awareness is the steering wheel of the new timeline. It directs the energy, attracts the opportunities, and influences the people who enter or exit your life. During this phase, you may experience a powerful realization. You are no longer the person you were even a few months ago. Your responses are different. Your boundaries are stronger. Your desires are clearer. Your tolerance for low energy is decreasing. This is not a coincidence. This is identity realignment. The new timeline requires a version of you that is more aligned with your truth, and you have been stepping into that version without even realizing it. Archangel Michael says that the universe has been waiting for this version of you, the one who is aware, open, honest, and ready. Your past selves brought you to this point, but they were not meant to walk this new path. Only the version of you that is emerging now has the strength, clarity, and wisdom to walk through the next doorway. This is also the phase where you may feel a subtle emotional detachment from past pain, not because you're ignoring it, but because you've outgrown it. Wounds that once felt deep may now feel distant. Fears that once felt overwhelming may now feel manageable. Patterns that once repeated themselves may suddenly lose their power. These changes indicate that the new frequency is stabilizing in your body. And this stabilization is key, because once your energy stabilizes, your reality begins to experience dramatic shifts. People appear, opportunities appear, answers appear, signs appear, alignments appear, and the life you've been asking for begins to materialize piece by piece. The angels want you to know that what's coming next is not accidental. It is not fragile. It is not temporary. The blessings approaching you are part of the new architecture of your timeline. They are designed to stay, to grow, to support, and to elevate you. As the activation of your new timeline strengthens, you reach the most powerful phase of this entire shift, the lock-in. This is the moment when the energy fully commits, the path solidifies, and the universe aligns the outer world with the inner transformation you've been undergoing. What once felt subtle now becomes undeniable. What once felt distant now begins moving toward you. What once lived only in intuition now begins shaping your physical life. The angels describe this phase as the point of no return, not in a fearful sense, but in the most liberating way possible. It is the moment when your old timeline can no longer pull you back because your energy no longer matches it. The themes, people, patterns, and limitations that defined your past are now incompatible with who you've become. This incompatibility creates a natural separation, a gentle but powerful ending, allowing the new path to emerge without interference. You may begin to feel this separation emotionally first. Something inside you may whisper, "I can't go backward anymore." You may sense that certain behaviors or connections simply no longer belong. Even if they were once comforting, they now feel too small, too heavy, too tight. This is because you have outgrown the vibration you once lived in. Your soul has expanded, and your life must expand with it. The angels say that this expansion is the true purpose of your timeline shift. Not the rush, not the urgency, not the countdown, but the widening of your capacity to receive what is meant for you. The old timeline restricted you. The new one prepares to elevate you. And now, as the lock-in takes place, you begin to feel the quiet certainty that you're being moved somewhere higher. During this phase, expect your intuition to sharpen even more. You may start knowing things before they happen. You may feel nudged towards certain decisions with unusual clarity. You may realize that your emotional reactions have become more balanced, more grounded, more aligned with your authentic self. This clarity is not temporary. It is the foundation of your new timeline. Another major effect of this lock-in is synchronicity acceleration. Signs appear in clusters. Repeating numbers show up constantly. People speak words that feel like messages. A thought crosses your mind and manifests in front of you. Opportunities appear within hours or days of you thinking about them. This acceleration is the universe saying, "Your new path is active. Watch carefully." Your energy now resonates with higher frequencies, and these frequencies respond quickly, almost instantly. Because in a locked-in timeline, what you think, feel, and believe becomes a magnet for what appears in your reality. This is why the angels encourage you to stay aware of your thoughts, not to police them or fear them, but to choose the ones that align with where you are going, not where you've been. You have more creative power now than you did even a few weeks ago. Your intentions, your clarity, your self-awareness, these shape your experience more directly than ever. You may also notice that people who are meant to be part of your new timeline begin to appear effortlessly. Some may enter quietly. Others may arrive through synchronicities that feel almost unbelievable. Some may be new faces. Others may be familiar souls returning at the right time. But each one appears with purpose, to teach, support, uplift, collaborate, or walk beside you. Similarly, people who are no longer aligned with your frequency may drift away. Not all at once, and not always dramatically. Sometimes it happens through silence, distance, different priorities, or gentle emotional release. This is not abandonment. It is alignment. You are not losing people. You are gaining space for the right ones. Now comes one of the most profound aspects of the lock-in. The universe begins delivering what you have energetically prepared for. This may come in several forms. An opportunity that shifts your direction, a revelation that changes your perspective, a relationship that brings emotional clarity or connection, a message that confirms your intuition, a breakthrough that frees you from an old limitation, a moment of inner peace that marks the end of a long emotional cycle. These physical manifestations are the proof that your new timeline is not theoretical. It is active, real, and unfolding. You may also find that opportunities arise in ways you didn't expect. The universe doesn't always answer your prayers in the form you imagined, but it always answers them in the form you need. What comes may feel surprising, but it will also feel unmistakably right. You will recognize it immediately, not with your mind, but with your heart. Because when something belongs to your new timeline, your soul relaxes around it. Another key marker of this phase is emotional renewal. You may find yourself waking up with a lighter heart, clearer thoughts, or a renewed sense of hope. You may feel more connected to your body, more present in your life, or more confident in your decisions. This is because your emotional system is finally catching up with your spiritual progress. The heaviness you've carried for years may begin to fade, not all at once, but in steady waves of release. And as this emotional renewal deepens, you will notice something extraordinary. Your future no longer feels intimidating. Instead, it feels open, possible, accessible. You may not know every detail, but you know something in you has shifted permanently. You know you are no longer walking blind. You know you are being guided. This guidance becomes especially strong in moments of silence. When you pause, breathe, and feel your inner space, you may sense a new presence, not outside you, but within you. A presence that feels like clarity, like safety, like direction. The angels say this inner voice is your soul in its most aligned state, finally able to speak without interference. And now that the new timeline is locking in, this voice will grow stronger, more confident, and more precise. It will guide you step by step, choice by choice, moment by moment. You don't need to know the entire path, just the next step. And that step will always reveal itself when you are ready. The angels want you to understand something essential as this shift completes. You did not stumble into this. You rose into it. Every moment of perseverance, every choice to heal, every tear you shed in silence, every time you refuse to give up, these open the timeline you are stepping into now. Your new timeline begins not with fireworks, but with alignment. Not with noise, but with clarity. Not with chaos, but with purpose. As the lock-in finalizes, the countdown that once symbolized urgency now symbolizes arrival. You have reached the point where the universe is ready to move with you, rather than wait for you. And from this moment forward, your life will begin reflecting the frequency you've grown into, a frequency of alignment, expansion, protection, and divine timing. The shift is complete. Your new timeline begins now.